we've got obviously the Damien Dark this season, right out of the gate, been this big threat. But I almost think like so early on in the season he was a threat, and he's a great threat. But is there gonna be something else, a curveball maybe? Anything coming that might either assist him or also be a problem?
Well, if we tell you, we might have to kill you.
or he might kill you.
Yeah,
I think what's so interesting about him is that we don't know the limitations of his powers because we haven't seen him fail yet. So we don't know how strong he actually is, and all these powers are so mystical as they are, which also makes them unpredictable. We just don't know where he's gonna go with that. So he could get even stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's kind of where I'm going with that.
Which I love that aspect that they're bringing into this season, and I think it's interesting because aside from him, but we learn about Shadowspire, and they get more involved as the season goes on, and what's more to come. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too. There's I'm excited. Yeah. I'll put exclamation points at the end of it. Just picture them there. Yeah, do that.
Makes
The
us so
support system.
You guys have a great team dynamic on the show, sort of a growing team dynamic. But for your characters, because you always want to see like different pairings and what sort of the energy of different characters. Would you like to see your two characters maybe get some more scenes together, an adventure of your own?
Yeah, but we talked about it. We kind of feel like we've tricked the writers because we stand beside each other a lot. And the thing is, like, what happens when you have like 6 people in a scene? Not all of you get to talk to one another. Okay. So I feel like that's happening more for Laurel and Felicity, and as they should be friends because they're both similar thinkers. Yeah, and emotionally.
Absolutely. It's funny because it's not a relationship that I really put too much thought into, only because up until season 3 there wasn't a lot of interaction between Felicity and Laurel, and it's actually awesome because now I feel as though, and I haven't even really talked about this with you, but I do a lot of I'll do backstory and stuff like that, but I feel like she looks at Laurel looks at Felicity and is like inspired by her, and Felicity's teaching her things, and even I wish I could say that they think the same way, but Felicity's genius, not Laurel.
I think they do in like emotional context. Like I totally agree with the looks. Like we're shooting this scene right now, and there's my instinct is to turn and look at you for this line, but there's no chance for me to do it. So I've been actually fighting this whole scene. I've just been like, I'm doing this like weird look. Do you know I'm doing this like weird like neck thing?
Yeah, hilarious. But I do think it's like inspirational, and I think that anything if there are scenes that Felicity are if she's wherever she is with her mom or whatnot, wherever if she's not in a scene, I feel like Laurel has kind of paid attention to her tech skills and picked up on them. So I don't know. I just feel like there is a friendship, and I hope and I think that there's definitely room for it to grow for sure.
I agree. I justify things like if I hadn't if we haven't shown on television like Felicity's found something out, I justify it with like, oh, Laurel and Felicity talked about they called each other because we never showed those things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to shock you guys by saying that some of the fans get very invested in the love stories on this show. And then there's the whole contention of like, oh, well, Oliver and Felicity, but then there's the comic book contention of they're like, well, no, Laurel and Oliver. Do you guys have a deeply invested, where you want it to end, or do you just kind of like to see, and like to see the different dynamics they can do?
I like seeing the different dynamics, but I also feel like our story is our story, and it's kind of like where that leads and sort of it's kind of where that tumbles, really. And having that sort of fall organically as sort of like sticking to a structure. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And also, thinking about it, I was happy, and the way I look at their relationship, I am happy for Oliver, and I am happy for Felicity, and I see Felicity as this genuinely like beautiful person and good person, and obviously, I still think Oliver is the love of her life, Laurel's life, but that doesn't mean you end up with the love of your life. And so I feel like she's come to peace with that, but it's also, Laurel didn't know who she was as a person when we saw her in season 1. So it was, she had to find herself and go through this journey on her, her journey on her own. Meanwhile, she got to watch this beautiful relationship blossom, and so I feel like it's all...
I mean, she's recreated herself, really. Like, it's amazing. It's what happens. I mean, that's real.